so excited. Okay, so this is my friend Christy. And, we totally met because I read her profile on LinkedIn says, oh, I'm the happiness hussy. And I was like, I have to meet this woman for no other reason. And then we just connected. So you are one of these people in my world that I just keep in my little back pocket and think about. And so when I was thinking about doing these quality of life, I'm like, I want to hear what Christy's point of view is. So my question to you today, my friend, is what does quality of life mean to you?
Oh gosh, you know what? It means so many things, but I want to maybe start with what I think it doesn't mean because I think that a lot of times we have this idea of what that looks like, but it's not truly ours, right? We can end up taking sort of this picture of what quality of life looks from our parents or from the media or from our teachers, other experiences that we've had along the way that are kind of directing us to create this maybe limited box of what quality of life should look like. And so I think for me, it doesn't look anything like what I was taught. And to get to where I am now, it required actually quite a bit of unlearning. It required a bit of dissecting and exploring and adventuring back to myself to discover who am I and what does quality of life look like, and more importantly, what does it feel like, right? Because it doesn't matter what it looks like to other people, it's what it feels like for me in my experience. And I went through an awful lot of years not knowing what that looked like and kind of just doing what I was supposed to do. And I suppose I was fine, but I wasn't really fine, you know? I would I would tell people I was fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine. But deep down inside, there was like I want to say something missing. It felt like there was something missing. There wasn't really something missing. I just was looking in the wrong places. And through this discovery, this, self-inquiry, figuring out like what the fuck does Christy really want? I found my way back to myself, and from there, everything became much more clear. And it wasn't about success, in the sort of way that other people look at success. They often look at dollar signs and productivity and fancy titles and expensive cars and all of these things, luxury. For me, that wasn't it. For me, it's actually almost the opposite. I mean, the things that I loved cost money too, so I'll be clear about that. But it's not about luxury items or looking good on the outside. It's about feeling good on the inside. And I love to travel. I love to have experiences. I love to connect with people and I love to see the world. So obviously traveling requires money, but it's not about the fancy titles or the
Yeah.
billable hours or any of those things that I have previously, defined quality of life based on. And now it's about the spaciousness in my life, right? The peace, the freedom, the flexibility, the authentic me having space to be expressed. And that is, to me, that's what quality of life is. And of course, as the happiness hussy, I will say that happiness is our intended state of being. It's not something we have to aspire to or chase or, get there somehow by finding the things. It's by sitting quietly with ourselves that we find that was never out there to chase in the first place. So, yeah, that's kind of what I think of when I think of quality of life. It's about how am I experiencing this like day to day?
Oh, I love that. I love your word spaciousness too. I'm not sure if that's a
Mm.
word, but freaking love it because that's what it is, right? And I'm full agreement. I loved how you started about what it's not. And before we got started in the recording, you were saying that, you're planning this trip with your son and he thought he wanted this. And you're like, I don't really think you do. I think you have an idea and that's not really
Yep.
what it is. And so, you get to bring this wisdom, which is great to raising your family. So thank you for doing that for the, our next generation.
Yeah.
But I loved what you said about the feeling.
Yeah.
And that one's huge because we often spend so much time up here in our brains and we really need to
Yep.
feel it in here. So describe to me something like, give me a good feeling about your quality of life. Like tell me a quick little story about something that made you feel so good that might not have been like, oh my God, this is world peace big. Like just Just quality of life that felt good.
Okay. Well, this is very happiness hussy vibe for you. Okay. So when I was looking at pictures, both for one of the trips that I'm planning, which includes Belize, because I'm very excited to explore the world, and Belize is on my wish list. And I was kind of like looking through things, and I was happening at the same time to be chatting with a friend. And I shared with her, and this is not the first time that I've used this phrase, I use this phrase often, about how absolutely horny for nature I get. Because it's things like seeing that color of the ocean. Do you know what I mean? That
Do
turquoise color. I don't know how else to explain how that feels in my body other than to say, like, I'm so horny for nature. Like, it just literally gets me so revved up, and not in like a panicky way, right? Because we can get really revved up and activated in sort of like a kind of way.
yeah.
But this, again, it feels spacious. And I'm going to throw another word in there like that, capacious, which to say, we have this capacity for
Yeah.
feeling things if we allow ourselves to. And like you said, I used to be a professional accountant. Lord only knows how I thought that was going to be a fit. But I I have come a long way in
Yeah.
starting to recognize who I truly am and allowing myself to step into more fully that version of myself. And I am a logical person. And when I was, doing that work, I was very in my mind. And now I'm not in my mind. My mind is a really valuable tool, but I'm not trapped in there. I'm not limited to that. I have the integration of feeling things in my body too, and getting really, really horned up for nature and, beautiful mountains and beautiful trees and exciting vacation plans. And I don't know, we're going to Portugal soon, the castles and just so excited.
Yeah. I love it. I love the horny for nature. That's why I moved to Playa del Carmen because of the blues in the ocean. It's one of the reasons, my grandbabies and stuff, but that's a big reason. Um, your capaciousness, is that what you said as well? I love,
Yeah.
see, and this is what I love about you is everything's fun. And I think that's a part of quality of life, right? Is bringing fun to everything. And you were probably an awesome accountant, but what didn't vibe with you. It's the same thing with me when I was a teacher. It vibed for me for as long as it vibed for me, and then I had to move on. And like, look at us both being so blessed to be doing the things that we love and
Yeah.
actually having this quality of life, because we often, many don't think about it until we don't have it.
Yeah,
So
and
having this life right
when I
now is great.
reflect back, there were many things that I learned from that experience, from that time being in that role. And a lot of what I really actually loved about that job was mentorship and teaching and
Yeah.
connecting and building with people. It wasn't really rewarded because that's not billable time.
Yeah.
But it was rewarded for me because it started the foundation of everything else that I've built since, which is really about connection and
Yeah.
really building other people up. And, not just like doing what needs to be done right now, but thinking forward for the future and creating something that's sustainable, that's going to help people grow, right? Grow into their spaciousness and their capaciousness, right?
And that's what I love about you. And this is why we connected. And this is why you're like top of my list when I reached out to people. So real quick, what's the best way for people to reach out to Christy and get to know you better? What's the best way?
I'm most active on Facebook. I
Okay.
I can't kick it. I don't know why. I have beef with Meta for so many reasons, but I find again that's where the community building seems to happen most easily, right? The conversations can just flow more easily than some of the other platforms, and so I just can't kick it myself. So that's where you'll find me mostly
Smart.
expressing my very long, expressions of my personal experiences because, if it helps one person, it's all worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Christy, I absolutely adore you. You are one of my favorite people in my back pocket. I just get to keep you there. Thank you so much for taking a moment to explain what quality of life means to you. And I can't wait to see where we go forward with this connection. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to plan to share this on my YouTube channel as well. So hopefully people can connect with the fabulous Barbie Lee as well.
Yay, that's me. I'm the fabulous Barbie Lee. All right.